So I'm here today with Bryan Beanland, a professional world record, world champion lifter?
Powerlifter, yep.
Powerlifter, okay. So let's start from the beginning. Why lifting in general?
When I was in high school, I had a really bad back accident when I was a senior in high school. Mm-hmm. I had about 8 disc bulges, 5 disc degenerations, 3 herniated discs, and about 12 spinal cord contusions from my neck down to my tailbone. After going to the doctor, do a lot of physical therapy and everything, he just says, nothing over 10 pounds over your head ever again for the rest of your life.
Really?
Just the fact that somebody would tell me, somebody who had dreamed of being in the NFL someday, I just wasn't ready to accept that for an answer. I was talking to somebody a little bit later, in college, and, he just flat out told me, he's like, you got to use your muscles for a source of your structure instead of your spine. So if you train properly, use good form every time, keep your head up, back tight, good pressure, you can develop the strength, and live a normal lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So, after doing that for, a little while, I realized that the athleticism started coming out, and I started getting stronger, more athletic, and I started kind of getting myself back together.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty amazing, man. Mm-hmm. Not many people hear bad news like that, I guess you would call it, and then be like, well, no, I'm not. That's not how I'm going to live my life. It's going to be like this.
Right.
Now, you're a trainer now. Uh-huh. How long have you been training?
I have been a personal trainer for about 16 years. After college, I graduated with a exercise science degree. Mm-hmm. When I went to, I wanted to personal train at a place, and they said I couldn't train without a certification.
Yeah. So
I went and got a certification through ISSA, and they said that wasn't one of the certifications they took. Or accepted. So then I went and got one under sports specialist in conditioning.
So you took 2 different classes so you could be a trainer.
Yep. And so they said that wasn't one of them they would take.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
I went ahead, and so then finally I went and took another one for it's ACE, which is American Council on Exercise.
Yeah.
Finally they accepted that one.
Wow. Okay. About time, right?
Yeah. As if my degree wasn't enough.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
So I could spend $600 for a certification, but my $40,000 degree didn't mean anything.
No, of course. Right. So.
Yeah, it was, that was, so that's a lot of the education I had behind it. But, I ended up, getting an intern, down in Bradenton, Florida at the IMG academies. Okay. And down there we trained a ton of professional athletes. Anna Kournikova was there, Serena and Venus Williams, Warren Sapp, Rhonda and Tiki Barber, Derek Brooks, Drew Brees, just a lot of professional athletes down there. So, again, kind of everything kind of came from my back accident. It's like, wow, look at this. And just science started just taking over everything that I do, So it's like, wow, did you know this can happen if you did this? And then come to find out all these professional athletes are doing exactly the things that I did to get my back and my body healthy again. So, man, that was everything I wanted to do.
So how'd that feel to see that a professional level athlete was doing what you were doing to help them even become a better athlete?
Oh, it was incredible. When I noticed they were doing that same thing, it kind of made me realize, wow, I can become a professional athlete. Mm-hmm. Because I was as strong as them, I was as fast as them. Kind of brought me back to why not? Exactly, so I got into powerlifting, and and I had a really good career with powerlifting.
So why powerlifting over, say, bodybuilding, which is very popular?
Well, powerlifting because there's a lot more science behind it.
Okay.
A lot of people would argue with me, and and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, the bodybuilding, you got like the 5% drink, and then you got like different substances you need to take for that, and they call that a science. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, each science, one's, there's a lot of nutrition involved. I mean, a lot of people say you are what you eat, and I totally agree with it. You eat like crap, you're going to be a piece of crap.
Oh, there you go, right?
So you are what you eat, and and don't get me wrong, as a powerlifter, I don't always eat like crap, but I eat a lot more. But again, I play science with the weights that I lift. With bodybuilders, it's all about getting the right chemicals, and I don't mean like chemical, I don't mean like vitamin S. I just mean like the right type of nutrition to feed the muscle to be able to stay cut, to, lose the type of weight that you are, lose the amount of body, and with powerlifting, size, it's physics. It's weight. The bigger you are, the stronger you are.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I just, with powerlifting, and with my back issue, it's like, wow, I can squat this much. And I was told that I'd never be able to squat this much. And so I just kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And when I squatted 700 for the first time, it's like you look at the charts and you go, wow. Do you realize how close I am to being the best in the world in my weight class?
Now, I've been around when you've broken world records. I was there when you broke the bench press world record.
Uh-huh.
Oh, how much weight was that? It was like 5 something, I think.
At that time, my body weight, I was, I think, it was either 165 or 181. Yeah. But yeah, my bench press was 565.
Jeez. I remember when you went down. And my first thought was, he better not drop it. I don't know what he thinks I'm going to do to get this up. But I'll tell you what, I mean, you're very inspirational. Your back problems, at least for me personally, physically seeing you break the world record for bench press, how do you take that inspiration and bring it into your training, I guess, to somebody that just walks into your gym and looks at you and says, I just want to get back into shape.
Right. Man, it's heart and desire. It's heart, desire, fire. I mean, it's taken the passion that took me. I mean, a lot of blood, sweat, and literally tears. I mean, if somebody comes into me and says, "This is what I want," then I look at them and I say, "Okay." I mean, there's going to be a lot involved to get where you're wanting to go. Yeah. And my biggest thing is that, again, we're talking about passion. And if you want to be passionate, then that's within your own soul. Yeah. And so what I'm going to do, and this is what I tell everybody, I will give you a huge bag of tools, and that being all the information that you're going to need, all the exercises you're going to need. I'm going to give you a weightlifting, a workout program. I'm going to write you up a nutrition program. So I'm going to give you a huge bag of tools. Yeah. And with this bag, you can build whatever type of body it is that you want to build, whether it's bodybuilding, powerlifting, just if you want to compete, fitness, no matter what it is, what type of body you want. I'm going to give you a huge bag of tools and knowledge that goes with it and just instructions, and you're going to be able to do whatever you want. But like I said, I want you to build it with your heart, not mine. And so if you come in and you tell me, man, I'm serious about this, let's do it, then you know what? You got my attention, and we're going to grunt and we're going to grind the whole time. So
right now it's really hard for me not to talk about myself because this is your interview, but you and I, we've known each other for years.
Oh, man, yeah.
Dude, and you actually trained me for 4 years consecutively, nonstop in competitions. And a lot of what you're saying is actually, I just want to testify that what you're saying works. You met me after I went to the YMCA for 4 months straight. You saw my passion. You actually approached me and was just like, "Hey, work out with me."
Oh yeah.
Which I was, I was like, "Excuse me, what?"
Oh, dude, you were a kid. I saw all sorts of potential in you.
Yeah.
It's just like you were thick, but you had also you were muscular, but you had all sorts of energy and oxygen. And you could run forever. It's like this guy's got some talent, man. So
it's crazy, and it's really cool how. Because this is a small gym, all right? We're not going to lie about that, but it's cool for you to have that one-on-one time with everybody in there, for you to see what you saw in me and everybody else. I think it's something that really is, I guess, attractive about you. And I remember you told me, you were like, because I just got out of high school when I was working with you, and I mentioned creatine, and you were talking about science, and you're like, you want creatine, eat a steak. And I was like, okay, you want to explain that? And then you went on your science spiel, and yeah, I mean, it works. I mean,
oh yeah, yeah. You know, it's like people say, "What do you want? What do you take?" You know, and she go, you know, everybody's expecting you to come up with this, you know, this magic, man. You do beta and arginine and all this stuff. Go get it from this store and this store and this store. You know, and man, just eat. Yeah, you know, go out, eat healthy, because no matter what it is that you eat, it's going to have the same product that you're buying at a store. Mm-hmm. That food is naturally going to have it in it. So if you eat, and you eat good, you're going to have everything you need.
That's simple. You know, you are what you eat.
You are what you eat.
So let's talk about your competitiveness real quick. Mm-hmm. What was it like for your first time to train in a world level?
Oh my gosh, little bit of pee dribbles. You know, when you sign up for your first professional competition, it was awesome because you know, I was training really hard for myself. You know, and I you know, with powerlifting, I knew what I've always dreamed of doing. You know, when I was in 7th grade, I remember I would go into these stores and I would spend all my money on magazines. Mm-hmm. You know, the Powerlifting USA magazine, the Muscle Mag, Iron Man. You know, and all I would just open those up and go, man, someday I'm going to be there. And, you know, it was always, you know, I always wanted to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger Sports Festival, the Arnold Classics. You know, and so I was working at the YMCA, and my boss comes up to me and she goes, hey, we won at a raffle. We won a special speaker to come to the YMCA. You know, I'm like, wow, who is it? And she goes, his name is Bill Kazmaier.
No way.
I go, wait, you mean like 3 times world's strongest man, Bill Kazmaier?
The Bill Kazmaier?
The Bill Kazmaier. And, you know, and I'm like, yeah, you know, and so that's when I hosted my first strongman competition. Yeah. And it was so cool having Bill Kazmaier there. And Bill, you know, he kind of looks at me and he goes, well, you're a pretty thick boy. What do you do? You know, what do you do? And I told him, you know, I'm a power lifter. And I told him how much I lifted. And he goes, you need to go somewhere with that. He goes, you are too strong to be not doing anything with it at a world level. And he goes, let me talk to some people for you. So it's, you know, one of those right places at the right time. Yeah. And he got me hooked up with a federation, APC.
Okay. Yeah.
And the APC, they were a non-for-profit. And so, you know, you go down there, you lift for that, you lift for them. And I won the nationals down in Atlanta, Georgia. Mm-hmm. Very surprisingly. And then, and if you win the nationals, then that, like I said, it's a non-for-profit. They split the monies with all the winners. Yeah. And they build a Team USA. And that year we went to Slovakia. Oh, wow. For the World Championships. And I went over there, and man, nobody spoke a lick of English. And you know, it's so funny. Just a quick thing is, you know, when everything's in kilograms over there. Yeah. And so I didn't pay any attention, you know, and she's, you know, she points to a piece of paper and she says, "What's your opening squat going to be?" And I said, 705. And she looks at me with her eyes. Her eyes were as big as a half dollar, you know, and you know, and I'm like, what? You know, it was a big deal, you know. So I walked away. And later, my USA team coach comes up to me, and goes, "Hey," he goes, "You do realize that you told her you were opening up with over 1,400 pounds?" You know, I'm like, "Well, crap, go fix it." So I ran over there, you know, and of course, then I told her I'm like 358, you know, through whatever the kilos, and but yeah, it was hilarious. But no, after winning that, I got my pro card, for powerlifting, and so you know, at that point, you know, I did the next year I went ahead and did it again, and I won my next championships in Athens. Okay. And then I just became passionate. I mean, like, my strength just kept getting better and better and better. And you know, you know, I did a competition that qualified me for the Arnold Classics. Nice. The Arnold Classics.
In Ohio?
Columbus, Ohio. The competition that I've dreamed of doing since I was in 7th grade. Mm-hmm. That, like, the ultimate. And so, you want to talk about head in the game? Nobody was getting in my way with that one. So,
Them are big, scary people in the Arnold Classics too.
The meanest, toughest guys you ever. No, not the meanest. I swear to God, like that's the best part about powerlifting.
Yeah.
Is that you'll show up and if let's say a quick example, Louis Simmons, the godfather of powerlifting, West Side Barbell Club. I had packed everything, checked everything twice, and when I got there, it was time for bench press, and I realized I didn't have a singlet.
Oh, shoot.
You have to lift in a singlet in these pro meets. And I'm looking all over the place, so I told my girlfriend, I said, hey, can you ask some of these guys if they have an extra singlet? And out of all the people that was there, out of all the professional, strongest lifters in the world that was there, she went to Louis Simmons.
Of course.
And asked him if he had a singlet. And he's like, well, yeah, doll, I do. And so he gives her, so I did my bench press in Louis Simmons' singlet. And so, it's just like, you better do that thing some good. So, but yeah, it was awesome. I mean, that's just what I'm saying, just the camaraderie with powerlifters that, during other sports, you got your some that are, hey, we're all going for the same prize of money. So, they're going to be pretty competitive and they're going to try to mess with your head and stuff. But, overall, I mean, this is the greatest sport that I could possibly imagine being in.
So, man, there's so much I want to talk about with this.
I know, it's been forever, man.
I know, right? So you own your own gym now.
Mm-hmm.
You train a lot of people with potential and passion.
Oh, absolutely. Love everybody in here.
And you do strongman competitions now, right?
Yeah.
Like you host them. You don't do them.
I don't do them. I'm way too short.
I figured you were just way too smart to not.
Well, no, definitely not that.
I don't know how many times I have done one of your competitions, and I've looked at you at the end. I'm just like, I hate you for setting this up.
Yeah, it's the pride in the pictures that you get to walk away with. Not too many people get to walk away with a picture of them deadlifting a car and pulling a bus.
Exactly right.
I've got some pictures of you doing that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure someone has a picture of me crying at the end too. So, but do you still host a lot of those competitions, or do you have a team now that you mentor?
I have a lot. I have so much talent in this gym. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've got a bunch of guys that do strongman competitions. I've got one. He was in New York. I think last year sometime. I'd hate to give you a date and then completely be wrong, and then him look at me like I was an idiot. But no, he did one. I had another lady. She's one of the owners of the gym. She was. I think she was going to someplace up there. Up and around New York, Syracuse. I don't know. But anyways, no, she does it. Again, we've got a couple, really high potential powerlifters. I got one guy in there. He's, I'd like to get him into bodybuilding. He's cut as heck, but no, just so much potential in this gym. I love it. So there's no cap to the possibilities that this gym has.
Well, you've also trained older people too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and by older, whoever's listening or anybody that's listening to this, I mean like 40s, 50s, 70s, and they've all been competitors.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got. It was so funny because I've got. I had an older lady. She was 70, 74, 72, and she was doing competitions and. She's like, she was crazy strong anyways. Yeah. And they looked it up and she's like, did I break a record? And they're like, honey, we don't even have a class for you. She
owns all the records.
Yeah. She's like, well, put one down now. And so, what's crazy is that she's the one to beat. And because we got a lot there, I mean, like, there's a lot of seniors out there just really getting into powerlifting because, powerlifting, it builds bone density and, there's such a huge benefit with it. Yeah. And it's just not a bunch of meatheads, and I'll tell you what, it sure doesn't take a whole lot of brains to figure out how to let a treadmill walk you. But when when you're trying to figure out how to build a stronger bench press, deadlift, squat, it's pure science, because you got to figure out how do I gain 5 extra pounds on my bench press? and it doesn't, you don't figure that out. It doesn't happen in a week. If I gain 5 extra pounds on my bench press in the next month, I will be happy as heck. So, and there's a lot of science behind it, and that's a big deal, so, and like I said, we get a lot of senior citizens in there, and, I got another guy, he's 74, 75 years old, and way back in the past, he was one of the strongest men in the world. Jeez. And but he's in here and he's talking about getting back into it now.
That'd be awesome to see him get back
dude,
into it.
I'm totally on him. Every time I see him, it's just like, how much you doing today? So, but awesome. Even I've got a kid. He was 16 years old. Similar to you, and you were at the Y. It's like I just see it. It's just like, dude, I gotta get you competing now. Yeah. Reach that bug and get you in it now. So there's no endless to the to what
to potential. I
the
guess.
Potential of anybody that steps in the gym. Mm-hmm. When they come into this gym, we're called power overload. Yeah. It's you're overloading your system. You're overloading your heart, your soul. You're overloading every bit of you that didn't think it was possible. Mm-hmm. And so and that's the best part about this gym is you got the biggest group of people that are gonna be on your side 100%. Yeah. They'll spot you, they'll do whatever. And again, we're talking about me as a trainer for 16 years. I don't care if you pay me for personal training. Mm-hmm. But the thing is if you ask me a question, I'm gonna give you some knowledge. Yeah. And so I would like to say that my gym here is one of the most knowledgeable gyms in the entire area.
I like that. Now, the area right now we're in mid-Missouri, specifically Holt Summit, Missouri, mm-hmm. just north of Jeff City, just south of Fulton. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't want to boost anyone's ego here, but I will just add to that. Bryan does know what he's doing. He knows what he's saying. You got a Facebook page?
I do have a Facebook page. Just Power Overload. Right. Power Overload Training Systems.
Yeah. Can people just hit you up with questions on there? And
absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
I'd be happy to answer any question. And the fact is, like I said, I love science. I love everything based on it, and I'm good at the book. So if you have a question, and if I don't know it, then I'll get my head in the book and I'll figure it out for you. Yeah. And that way you'll get nothing but facts and really top-notch stuff.
So right before we end, just quick, what are the records that you hold?
Oh, my gosh.
We can do the most recent. In bench, squat, and deadlift, what are they?
I've benched 705.
Holy crap.
I've squatted 1,005, and I've deadlifted 735.
Jeez.
And so those are all.
Did you go in the bathroom later and cry?
There's a lot of times, you're so proud of doing it. You're like, oh my God, I've finally hit over $1,000. And then you sit there and you go, well, crap. That only means I have to get stronger now. Yeah. It's just like, so you're so happy, but at the same time, you're like, man, I guess I got to keep moving forward. Yeah. So. Awesome. So many mixed feelings when you do this stuff, but it doesn't matter what it is. Same with sprinting. If you're and if you're an Olympic sprinter, you beat a world record, and then you sit there and you go, well, 9 seconds is down. I guess I better go for 8.
Right.
So, but that's just huge accomplishments. The people that you meet along the way, just friends, and and one huge thing above all is you hang out with the people who want you to succeed as bad as you do. Mm-hmm. Anything's possible.
I like that. In fact, let's end on that.
Excellent.
So awesome. Hey, thanks, Bryan, for meeting with me.
Excellent. Johnny, man, I miss you, buddy.
I miss you too, man. Awesome. All right, awesome. Bryan Beanland with Power Overload. Look him up on Facebook, and don't know how to get a hold of him, get a hold of me. I'll get a hold of him for you. So awesome. Well, thanks, Bryan.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.